Joining us right now is Alamo Drafthouse co-founder and CEO Tim League. Tim, good to see you.
Good morning. How are you?
Congrats on all the celebrating about the company. What sets the Drafthouse apart, you think, from the typical movie theater?
Well, those little clips beforehand is one of the biggest indicators. So we've had a very strict no talking, no texting policy for 19 3/4 years, and that's comes from my position of being a movie lover. That's my only qualification really for being in this business, and I think it translated into this part of our identity.
Tim, hey, this is Brian Brenberg. So this, you're doing a great job, obviously growing fairly quickly. There are a lot of competitors in this space, though, too, because I think this whole idea of experience movie watching is growing. How do you distinguish yourself from some of the competitors in the space? How do you stay ahead?
We do it in two different ways. One is this sort of getting back to basics, is understanding that a customer really wants a special experience. So we pay a lot of attention to our presentation. We have the great sound and picture quality, our strict no talking policy, and then also we have expanded concessions offerings. We can have a beer in the theater and from scratch cooking in the kitchens.
The only problem is, Tim, it's Dagan McDowell, is that people who have been to a draft house and then when they're maybe on vacation or visiting friends or family and then they go back to where they live and there isn't one.
Well, that's really a first-class problem for me, I suppose. I don't view that as a problem at all.
It is.
We just have to keep on expanding.
But it is if you can't keep up with the demand, right?
Well, we're setting a course it's fairly measured. We've been expanding relatively rapidly, but we're expanding out of our own revenues. We haven't taken on any debt into the company. It's out of cash flow that we continue to expand. So we don't want to do a rapid expansion for fear of maybe screwing up what's special about the brand.
You know, it's interesting because so many people are talking about how people aren't going to the movies anymore. They're watching at home. They're binging on Netflix. And yet you're growing. Do you really see the increasing numbers of people coming to watch films?
Well, we did just have the highest grossing year in cinema history last year. It eclipsed the last record, which was the year before. So I think we're still pretty safe. And I look at the argument about home viewing as a bit of a red herring, in that my real competitors are the activities you do outside of the house. You make a decision either to stay home or to get out of the house. So I compete against restaurants, clubs, live music, comedy, that sort of thing.
And I guess it's still the cheapest price when you look at all entertainment. How's business today, Tim?
Business is fantastic. We had an absolutely incredible end of the year on both sides. We had a lot of really great independent films like Moonlight. We had crossover films like La La Land, and then, of course, the tentpole of films like Star Wars. So it's been covering all bases. It was a fantastic capper to a great year.
All right, good for you. Tim, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Tim League there.